Hey everyone, and welcome to my channel. Today I want to do a tag video, and I'm already a little bit late with this one because we're almost halfway into November. Usually I like to do this tag around the end of October, so I hope this is still interesting to you. But today we're going to do the end of the year book tag. Now this year I already somehow missed out on doing the finally fall tag, which usually I do every year, so I don't want to miss this one too, so please just bear with me. The first question is, are there any books you started this year that you need to finish? And I think the number one book on my list for that would be Disability Intimacy. I feel really bad about it because I started this book in May for the Asian Readathon. I was really excited about it. I had just gotten it as a gift, and then I read about a third of it and put it to the side to read other books, as you do for like readathons and stuff. And so I haven't really picked it back up again, and I would really love to finish this one before the year is over. But you might know that my ultimate goal for the rest of the year is to read my TBR down to 0, and this is one of the books that I acquired this year, so it doesn't really count for the project, and that's why it's not the highest priority right now. Next question is, do you have an autumnal book to transition into the end of the year? And I'm gonna answer this with a book that I have already finished because I feel like we're in November, you know, we have already transitioned into autumn, like we're getting close to transitioning into winter here. So the book that I have read that I felt like was a really good transition book into the fall was Never Whistle at Night. This is a short story collection full of indigenous horror and dark stories. So while none of these stories apart from the last one was like very gross, but none of them like really stood out. But I think it's an overall like very solid collection of short stories if you like more like horror-y, dark fantasy kind of stuff. So would recommend. Next question, is there a new release you're still waiting for? And I am very bad with new releases. If it's not books in series where I have been longing for the next book, I usually don't know what's coming out. So there are probably some releases that I will be excited about if they appear in my timeline, basically. But for one that I think just came out and that I eventually want to read, we have I think it's called Brigands and Breadknives. Those are not usually words I use a lot in English, so sorry if I said that wrong, but this is the next book in the Legends and Lattes kind of series, and we're following a character we have met before, a character I very much enjoyed, so I'm very excited to see what their journey is going to be. Then we have the next question. What are 3 books you want to read before the end of the year? Now, I have already mentioned my TBR project thing that I'm doing, so obviously all of those books are on the list, but I thought it would be boring to repeat myself over and over because you will soon see that in my reading vlog. So I have chosen 3 other books I still hope to read this year, or I have like very firm plans to still read this year. We have The Eyes Were Watching God. This is the last of my authors I wanted to try this year book, so that one I want to read this weekend, and I'm very excited to get into this one. It is luckily quite short, so I hope that this weekend I can go through it quite quickly and like really soak it in. Then we have Under the Mistletoe with You, which is the second book from, or like the second Christmas book by the author who wrote Make You Mine This Christmas, which so far is my favorite Christmas romance book. So this author has now put out a gay kind of Christmas romance as well, and I need to read it. The thing is that last year when I did my whole like Christmas shebang, which I do every year, like holiday reading, kind of going through all the new releases and stuff, it didn't show up. I didn't see it. And then throughout like the holiday time, one of my friends was like, hey, did you see this author that you love for their Christmas stuff has a new book? And I just, yeah, I didn't get to it last year because I didn't know it existed. So this year it needs to happen. And last but not least, we have The Starving Saints. This is a book where I got the audiobook for a very good deal on Libro FM, and I think this is going to finish off my kind of Halloweeny creepy reads. I think this has cannibal nuns, so we'll see about that. But yeah, this is a book that I have been very excited about because this is an author I want to read more books from, and so that new release showing up in the sale on Libro FM, I had to snatch it up. Next question, is there a book you think that could still shock you and become your favorite book of the year? And I must be honest that I don't think so. My favorite book so far is The Spear Cuts Through Water, and I do not think that I will find another book that I love as much. I'm still thinking about the couple, like the two boys that are in love in The Spear Cuts Through Water. Their tensions, their romance, their, if you want to call it adventure, even though that sounds a little bit like too fluffy and nice for what they really go through, is everything. So I don't think I will find a book that tops it, but I might still find a book that makes it onto my favorite books of the year list. And for that, I have very high hopes, which might be squashed, but we will see, for Any Way the Wind Blows. This is the third book in the Simon Snow series, and I love Carry On. Is one of my favorite books of all time. And I'm currently rereading it, and I'm already loving it again. I love these characters, I love the story. It's everything. Bass is everything to me. So the second book wasn't that great. It was still good, but it lacked a lot. So I'm hoping for the third book to bring back the magic of the first one. We'll see about that. I'll let you know once I've finished my rereads, because I really want to get into it again before I read that final book to give it the best chance to become one of my favorite books as well. And the last question is, have you already started making reading plans for 2026? And obviously I have. I'm not gonna tell you though, because yeah, we're not quite there yet. But I do keep a running list of completed book series that I'm interested in. I think I have about like 40-ish series on there, so it's not like I will get to all of them very soon. However, this is kind of like the list where I choose my 5 series from that I want to read each year. So I already have some kind of like bookmarked as the ones that would probably make it onto the list for next year. And then same, I have a list of like authors I really want to read, but then somehow I never pick up their books. And again, I have already a couple that I think I want to do for next year. These reading projects really push me to pick up the books that I actually want to read, like where I have like a long-standing wish to read the books. So you know, with all like the new releases and like shiny stuff, it gets very easy to get kind of distracted and then never pick up the books that you think you will love, or the authors you think could be like new favorite authors. They just get like randomly pushed to the side, and I don't want that to happen. So I have my list and I am checking it twice. And yeah, I have some plans already, but I will make a video about that in December, as I do every year. And if I finish my project, which like I will finish this project, then I go into the new year currently with kind of 7-ish books on my TBR, if I count like a Disability Intimacy as well. So I have 6 books I haven't started yet, and then Disability Intimacy for my physical TBR. And then I also have about like, I think 5 audiobooks that I probably won't read this year that I got on like deals and sales. So that will be all of my TBR for the next year. And I'm very excited for that because it opens up my Libby space, like the kind of time I have to spend on Libby. And I literally can't wait to like unapologetically read library books next year. I will be so terrible. Because the thing with Libby is that if you don't read a book within a certain time where it's like available, it will go away again. And I have already lost access to so many books I really want to read again because, yeah, I just didn't get them in the time they were available. And it's not like the same for every book. It's not like you know that you have like 1 year or 3 years to read the book. They will just randomly disappear again. And so, yeah, I really, really, really want to read so many more Libby books next year. For one, it saves money. For the second thing, I don't have to think about where I put them on the shelves, which as I move a lot, I don't have a lot of shelf space and I don't want to get new shelves because that's a lot of stuff to move around. So Libby, we're going to be best friends next year, and that's like my one wish and goal I have for my reading next year. So that's it for my tag. I hope you enjoyed this. Definitely let me know your answers in the comments down below, especially if you have reading plans for 2026. I would love to hear about that. And yeah, I hope this was fun to watch. Don't forget to give me a like, that always helps me out, and I will talk to you very soon. Bye!